What's going on, guys? What's up, Dark Arts? What's up, Hallow Dunays? What's up, Mitchell? Why do they always dump on us? It's a good question. We'll give people a couple minutes to hop in, and then we'll get started. Good to see you back here, mate. Thanks, Mike. It's good to be back. I had a nice little break, but I am back home, and good to get back in. Get back into the swing of things. Was I born in the U.S.? No, I'm German, but my dad is from the U.S., and so he raised me watching sports and as a sports fan. So that's where I get it from. What's up, Gabe? What's up, Mike? What's up, Jay Break? Yeah, I was at some March Madness games watching the University of Michigan. My dad is a big fan, grad, and so when me and my brother were growing up, he was just always watching games, so me and my brother were too, and we fell in love with it. What's up, Tobias? What's up, Dennis? All right, let's get started. Give people a little bit of time to get in. I don't have, no golf today. I already went golfing, actually. I'm back now. Don't have a ton of time today, so I think I'm just going to run through Bitcoin and Ethereum and then sign off. Probably going to be like 30 minutes. Fab 5, that's right. Weber, Jalen Rose, Jawan Howard is my guy. And he is the coach now. Love him. And then Jimmy King and Ray Jackson, baby. All right, so let's jump right into it. We'll start with a higher time frame view. I don't even remember the last time we streamed. It was probably, I don't know, somewhere around here. But this is kind of the area we were looking for quite some time. It was a little cleaner on Ethereum. I mean, not really cleaner, but it looks good on both. Essentially, it's a pretty similar level. It's this 8-hour demand, and it's also right by the range high. If you want to draw it a little differently, it might be here. You might have it there, but whatever the case, I like the confluence of that demand as well as this range right here as a place that we could bounce from. Right now, my Bitcoin long is a little underwater, but I'm not too worried about that. Ethereum's holding up a little better, so that one is looking good. I'm long Bitcoin from 51.9, I think, and I will add when we break above, when we start moving up, see some nice bullish structure, or if we, I forget how to use TradingView now that it's been so long, or if we take out this low and then start pushing up. So those are kind of the two things I'm watching. My stop is pretty wide right now, and so if this wants to come down first, I have absolutely no problem with that, and I would be looking at around 50K or just under 50K, sweep of this 50.4 to get long. So let's look at the daily time frame, see if there's anything else that we need to look at. And to be honest, I think we ranged for a little bit here, and I think we all thought that we were going to break out, retested this level, bounced from it, but now we're kind of just bleeding off. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we kind of just range like this for a little bit. But we're playing it level to level. And that's pretty much all I have to say. So this is the current Monday's range, I believe. Let me look. Yeah. And I'm going to mark today's daily open, which is about to be yesterday's in 10 minutes. But I like that level because you can see pretty clearly that has capped price thus far. Let me see. Oops. Where's the 400? Just under it. Interesting. Weekly's up there. Don't need that. Okay, so confirmation for me that the low is in would be when we can break above 54K. That's kind of my line in the sand. That has been the pivot this entire time. So it was the low we made here, then we broke below it, retested it, sold off, and we traded below it for a long time. Here we chopped around a little. Once we flipped it, it held the support here, 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 and now we are trading back below it again. But once we can get above that, I am pretty much full bull again, looking for these highs and these highs. So like 60K and 58.5 are going to be key levels for me once we do break above 54. So that's when I would add to this trade with more confidence. But for now, I am kind of just being patient. And it lines up nicely with Monday's low. So yeah, it's options expiry week, so we have a bunch of volatility. I know people are talking about 44K as being the max pain level. That doesn't mean it needs to go there, but that is just the point where the majority of options will expire worthless, and so that's why it's known as max pain, because the options will be out of the money. But that doesn't mean we have to go to 44K, because last month, whenever it was, I'm pretty sure max pain was like 33, and we only came down to 42, or maybe it was like 36 or 37. I don't remember exactly where it was. Maybe someone in the chat does, but we did not end up hitting it. So if you pull a fib here, I think we're right at the 6.2 or whatever, just below it or above it. Another sweep would be right into that, so that's a little bit more confluence. I don't really use fibs a ton, but sometimes I check to see how well they line up with stuff. So I guess for now, the most important thing to watch is if Bitcoin can get above this level right here at 52 and then get above this level right there. So those are kind of the most important things that I'm watching for right now. I'm not really too worried about this dip right here. This is the most recent demand level, so either we bounce from here, push away, or we break down, sweep this low, get back above it, and then push up. Those are kind of the two things that I'm expecting right now. So it was 36. Yeah, so last time, end of March, whatever, like the end of May, max pain was 36K right here, and this is where we bottomed out. So that's how much we front ran it by. So max pain doesn't mean it's going to go to that level, is essentially what I'm trying to get at. Albi says we were 15% above it last time. I guess it depends which, yeah, so 15% above 36K. This low, whether it's the low or not, it's a good 12 whatever percent. Yeah, so I mean those are pretty much the two main scenarios. Either we start flipping some resistance as support. You can see this is a super clear resistance level, which lines up with Monday's low, that 54K pivot, and then this whole zone is support for me. So once again, sweep this and break up, or just go straight up from here, are kind of the two long scenarios that I am watching. So that's Bitcoin for you. I think that's all I had about Bitcoin. Something interesting that I've noticed, or that I'm noticing today, is look at Ethereum's structure here. It held the higher low right there, whereas Bitcoin made a lower low. So Ethereum is showing some strength here, and we can see that from ETH BTC, which is going up. I posted this chart on Twitter. I guess I can talk about this before ETH USD. And I mean, zooming out more, these are kind of the three important levels on our chart that I've been watching. We've been chopping around this monthly SR for a little bit, but it's really the level that I would like to see us hold. And we're coming into a bunch of support right now. I think either this low holds or it comes down to this like 0.027 area, which is just this SR level. But we did form a pretty nice range right here, which is good. So we had this range high, range low, swept the low, little deviation above the highs, whatever you want to call it again, or whatever you want to call it. Took out the lows again, and now I'm expecting a move up to the highs. So we'll see if we get that. This rejected pretty much perfectly right there, but if we can flip it and hold above the mid-range as well, then I think we could see some more relief or some upside from ETH BTC, which would result in ETH USD outperforming BTC USD. So moving on to Ethereum, this was the range we were working with, and what I kept saying on Twitter was either you can play the extremes within this range or you can just sit out. Those are kind of the two options. And by that, I mean longing in the range low, shorting around the range high. I was pretty much not trading this entire time just because I was not home and didn't want to have to manage positions or whatever from my phone. So it kind of just played out that way. But this was ultimately the level that I wanted to see Ethereum go to. We can see how much of a pullback that was. That was pretty much to the 0.62 on the tick. But overall, this is just a really clean range that we had. This was one heck of a clear SR flip and a breakdown below the range. So we broke down, consolidated a little bit, took out the highs, really ugly close, and then sold off. One sec, let me take a drink of water. All right. So that was a pretty clear rejection there. Would have been a nice time to hedge or whatever if you're holding a lot of ETH, but that was in the past now, so it doesn't really help you guys at all for me to say that. This was the obvious level that I wanted to see hold, and we are so far. So basically, this was the last down move before, I don't know why I can't draw straight lines today, before we broke out of like this consolidation there. So this is the demand that pushed us up here and broke out of this range, breaking market structure. So since that's where buyers stepped in, that's where I would want to see buyers defend. And we're doing that pretty well so far. We wicked into it. We're pushing. We are back above it. If you look at on the daily time frame, I guess you could call the top of this the daily demand, and so we kind of tagged that as well. But I guess overall what I want to see is just us to hold above this 1590 area. But just like with Bitcoin, I'm not going to be panicking if we come down and sweep this low before pushing up again, right? Right now, my stop is at around 1430. So I'm even giving it space if it wants to take out this low, like wick of that and then come back above, take out even more stops. But for right now, I am long from 1555. I posted my entry on Twitter, which ended up being a really great entry because Ethereum has not made another lower low or has not made another low. So that looks good so far. I mean, I kind of would have wanted to see both Bitcoin and Ethereum push away by now, but just because it's taking longer isn't going to make me close a position. It's not the end of the world that it's consolidating for a bit here. For all we know, it could be someone accumulating in this sub 1600 area. So nothing to be too panicked about big picture, especially as long as you're not trading with super tight stops. I think if you did have a stop at the low, then you'd probably be a little anxious right now, but that's just not usually how I trade. If Ethereum does, let's try and draw this better, does start pushing up and breaking above some levels like this, then I'd be fine with moving my stop up to here, because at that point I wouldn't want to see it come down, and then that would just be a bit messy for me. Like if we can start to get above some resistances like this right here, or get back above this range low, then I'm super comfortable moving my stop up. But right now, it's not something I am willing to do. So, clear some of this. I think cause is a LARP personally. Well, good thing I don't care about you, so. Crypto Roulette Rules and Anthony, appreciate the support, you guys. Yeah, I'll take a look at Litecoin as well. So I guess overall with Bitcoin and Ethereum, the only thing I'm really doing now is waiting, being patient. I'm okay with it coming down to sweep the low again if it wants to, and if it doesn't and just pushes away from here, then that's good too. So I'm long. I think we go up, but that doesn't mean we can't come down for another leg before. Litecoin, let's see. Let's clean this up a little bit. Cause you're dope, ignore the plebs. Thanks, Brian. The Spaniardo, I love you too, man. Okay, give me just a second, guys, because this is a little messy. What do I think of Link? I haven't traded Link in a bit. It just hasn't been as clear to me. When's the course coming out? I'm not sure exactly what course we're talking about. I do plan on making some free educational content, but I'm not going to make a paid course or anything like that. And because I'm doing it for free, I haven't really set a bunch of time aside for it, just because I'm going to try and do more of that in my free time, but when I'm busy, it isn't the highest priority. But I do try and do streams and make videos and stuff like that so that I can help you guys out in real time. Okay, so let's start by zooming out. Litecoin looks a little choppy, but I mean, ideally, you want to see Litecoin bounce from here. This is daily demand. This was our kind of key SR level. We already tested that. I don't really think we need to go back to test that. So Litecoin kind of looks like it's on the last line of defense, while the others could still go for a leg down. I don't really see too many actionable setups here. I mean, I think we are sitting right on support. This is daily demand right above the monthly open. So I think you could be long with a stop here targeting 250. It's just, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum look cleaner to me, and so that's just where most of my focus is, but I don't think there's anything wrong with this type of a trade. Hold on, let me just catch up. Furu cause paid group. We should start a GoFundMe for donation. I mean, I don't really want any of your guys' money. I don't need it, and I don't want to take people's money who are just trying to learn how to trade. It's just like I'm gonna do it as soon as I can, and I want to do it for free. So, yeah. So I guess with Litecoin, I don't have a ton of, man, these monthly candles are not looking too great. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but bottom line is it's sitting on support right now. It did just take out that low, so I would like to see us push up from here. Litecoin has been looking a little weak. LTC, BTC, I know is kind of just bleeding. Like, this is one of the funkiest, choppiest looking charts. I'm sure you could draw some kind of a descending wedge here or something like that. Like, I think Litecoin is going to go at some point, and it's just going to have one of these huge weekly candles, or a couple of them put together, but it's just a matter of when that's going to be. And right now, I don't want to get too overexposed to a coin that is just chopping super hard and then kind of just bleeding down. So I'll keep an eye out for setups. I don't really want to be in Litecoin spot instead of Bitcoin. Like, it doesn't look like Litecoin, like LTC, BTC is going to outperform at this point, or at least not right now. It could later, but I just don't want to put my eggs in that basket yet. Yeah, I don't know where the bottom is for LTC, BTC. Like, I do like this level right here. So if we get like a nice big impulsive move, spike above that, and a reclaim of those lows, then I would be more confident in a low being in. But I don't want to try and catch the bottom on this. So, hey, market's not looking too bad though off the open. But you know what I always say during these streams, don't trust a daily open pump. So we'll see how that resolves itself. Like, it's possible that the low is in and it just goes up today, but I just don't like to bank on it. I would never want to FOMO into one of these pumps right off the open. But hey, if this successfully gets above here and even pumps up to there, I don't care that it happened at the daily open or in the Asian session, because that would be pretty dang bullish. 6.1 mil long just came through. Sweet. Good vibes, guys. Am I taking a look at ENJ USD? Yeah, let's pull it up. I have time for a couple. Well, let's see if we get a little more history. Let me just catch up with a couple things. GRT has held strong. Yeah, a few coins actually did pretty well yesterday. Wonder if you could get Prime XBT to sponsor some educational vids. I've talked a little bit about getting a sponsor for my streams. I need to grow the YouTube channel a little bit more, but I would only want to get a sponsor if it's someone like an exchange or a product that I actually use, because I don't want to promote something that I don't actually use. So like if FTX wants to sponsor my streams, I would probably do that because I actually trade there. So that's kind of my view on that. ENJ looks super bullish. I mean, it's going straight up. I don't want to be a buyer up here, but if you're in, like, congrats. It looks like it's been one hell of a trade. As far as, like, when a coin has already done this, other than, like, I don't want to build a new position or start building a position after it's up 1,800%. Like, you could look for some continuation plays, and usually for me, that would be like a range. So, I mean, this is a bit choppy. I guess this looks pretty. That looks pretty good, actually. So if I'm trying to trade ENJ, I've got this range marked out. You've got a nice little cluster of support right here. If you get a sweep of the low, reclaim of that, that's kind of the continuation play I would look on for ENJ. But I don't necessarily want to be buying like a fresh spot position up here, if that makes sense. LTC BTC, I'd be surprised if we don't sweep those lows from the last couple of days. Yeah, we could. It might just go down for another spike and then like a capitulation wick or whatever they call it. But yeah, that's kind of what I see on ENJ. I'll look at GRT quick. Here, I'll get a little more chart history. I guess GRT doesn't have a ton of history. I'll just go back to the FTX chart, because I like the perps. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this had a really nice run up. I don't know how much it was, but really big run up, and then kind of just consolidating. And honestly, a lot of alts kind of look like this. If I had to pinpoint a level, I would say like this is kind of the line in the sand that you want to see it get above. It was the support up here and then resistance there a couple times. So if it can flip that, I like it for upside. In terms of a low time frame play, I mean, it's just got a funky structure to it. It's like consolidate, dump, consolidate for a bit, and then like this slow bleed down like that. So, you know, I'm not 100% sure. I would definitely look to be a buyer if it comes down to 0.92, but I'm not necessarily expecting that. So I would kind of just have to stay patient on this one and wait for some more price action. Okay, so I have to run, but I know I cut this one a little shorter than usual. But now that I'm back home, I will start doing more streams again, and I will try and figure something out to start doing more educational content soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and subscribe so the channel can grow a little, and then it'll be easier for me to maybe secure a sponsor at some point, and then I can do more educational content. But I'm just not interested in charging you guys, because I don't think you need to pay to learn. I want you to be able to learn for free. But like if an exchange wants to pay me, I'm fine taking their money. Because, you know, why not? All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will talk to you all soon, and if anything crazy happens, I will be sure to post updates on Twitter. Next time we do a stream, I'll try and do more chart requests, because I know I kind of had to cut it a little short this time. But I appreciate every one of you being here, and I appreciate the support on the videos. So I'll talk to you all soon.